The United Nations called on Saturday for reason from all sides after a meeting of envoys from 10 EU states in Brussels a day earlier failed to break the deadlock. Frightened people who may be in need of international protection should not be caught in the maelstrom of politics, the UN Refugee Agency UNHCR said in a statement. The only response on Saturday came from outside the EU, with Albania offering to take in 20 of the migrants. Salvini is in discussions with other non-EU countries who may be willing to follow Albania's example, an interior minister source said. Italy's anti-establishment government that took office 3 months ago has refused to back down, despite criticism from rights groups and the opposition. The migrants that disembarked on Saturday, 7 women and 6 men, were ordered off the boat by doctors after a checkup carried out at around midday. They finally left the boat one by one some 6 hours later, stepping down a flight of steps to touch dry land for the first time since leaving Libya at least 10 days ago. They were taken by ambulance to Catania's Garibaldi Hospital. The doctors had recommended all 11 women on board be disembarked, but 4 refused to leave their partners on board. Italian media reported that among the migrants who left the boat there were 3 cases of suspected tuberculosis and 2 of suspected pneumonia. Medical officials on the spot did not confirm this. Prospects of success: more than 650,000 people have reached Italian shores since 2014, and Rome says it will not let any more rescue ships dock unless the migrants are shared out around the EU. I am totally untroubled and I am working, with good prospects of success, on a positive solution, said Salvini, leader of the right-wing League Party, adding that he considered the criticism he received to be a badge of honor. Stefano Principato, a Red Cross representative, said the health of most of the migrants still on board isn't particularly critical, adding their problems are more psychological than physical. Earlier this week Italy let 27 unaccompanied minors leave the vessel. Prior to that, 13 people needing urgent hospital attention were evacuated. The mostly young men now on board shelter from the sun under a large green tarpaulin that covers around half the deck, with clothes attached to it hanging out to dry. Some occasionally wave to reporters gathered at the port. Around 200 protesters gathered at the Catania port on Saturday, some waving flags of left-wing movements and parties, calling for the migrants to be allowed to disembark. Meanwhile in Rome, Sicilian prosecutor Luigi Pitronaggio questioned several Interior Ministry officials as part of a criminal investigation into unknown persons for holding the migrants on board the ship against their will. Salvini has taken full responsibility for his ministry's actions and said any charges should be leveled against him personally, challenging the prosecutor to arrest him. The Five Star Movement, the League's coalition partner, has so far backed Salvini's hard line, and its transport minister Danilo Toninelli, who is responsible for the country's ports, renewed the government's attacks on the EU. Nobody can give lessons to Italy on its humanitarian efforts, he said. The government is only asking the EU give some sense to its own existence.